Good afternoon. This is Francine Chirambo, and welcome to today's chat. I'm so excited to be here, and I hope you are excited to join me. So let's see what we have for today. We are going to be speaking about wife empowerment. We're going to talk about how a husband can assist his wife to be empowered. And then there's this question which everybody likes asking. Are husbands insecure when we speak about empowerment? So that is what I'm going to be speaking about today. Thank you so much. If you are going to watch this after I go off, you are welcome. Please leave any comments that you may have. Send me questions that you may have, and I'll be happy to answer those questions. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Just let me know where you are joining me from. I'm in Pretoria and the weather is lovely. It is not so cold. It's a little bit, it's quite cool. So just let me know where you are joining me from. I just want to thank God for another day. I just want to thank God for another opportunity to impart knowledge on his people. You know, it's always an honor to speak to couples. It's always an honor to speak to people about relationships, and I really enjoy what I do. Each day I wake up, I ask God to give me wisdom, because I really don't want to mislead anybody. I want to do everything in a godly manner. I want to do everything in a way that is honorable to God. So this afternoon, I just want to say welcome. So I just want to talk a little bit about what we are talking about today, which is wife empowerment. Okay, I know there is women empowerment, but I don't want to generalize. I want to talk about wives. I want to talk about marriages. So I'm going to narrow the scope, and I'm just going to talk about empowerment for wives. Welcome. If you've just joined us, let us know where you are watching from. So talking about wife empowerment, I would like to first define the word empowerment. This is a word that I feel has been a bit misunderstood. So I would like us to speak about it and to just be able to understand what empowerment means. So I looked at a dictionary. I wanted to see what is said about empowerment, okay? And the dictionary has given me two. I looked at one internet dictionary actually, and it has defined, at least given me two definitions that we can work around this afternoon. So the first one says, empowerment simply means to give power or authority to someone. Okay, that is one that I would like us to look at. And the second one says, empowerment is to make someone stronger, to make them confident, especially controlling their own life and claiming their rights. Yesterday, I talked about myself. I spoke about me not wanting to claim any rights in my marriage, because I understand my position and I know exactly who I am as a wife. So I thought for those people that really don't understand what empowerment means, this is going to be a good place for them. This is going to be a good topic for them. So welcome. Thank you for watching. Please tag somebody who you think is going to benefit from this particular topic, which is empowerment. So we're talking about a woman empowering herself and how a husband can actually assist his wife to be empowered. Okay, so I've just defined what empowerment means. Before we talk about wife empowerment, I just defined what empowerment means. And empowerment simply means to give somebody authority, or to just give somebody some power. And then secondly, I said it means to make someone stronger or more confident, especially in controlling their life and claiming their rights. Basically, that is what I'm talking about. So what is your understanding of empowerment? please participate by responding in the comments. Let me know what you understand by empowerment, just the word empowerment, before we talk about women empowerment or wife empowerment. In this case, we are speaking about wife empowerment, just wife empowerment. I've decided to narrow it down to just a wife, not women in general, but just a wife, because I am specializing in couples, and I'm speaking to husbands, and I'm speaking to wives. So I would just like to narrow it down to wives. It can be a broad subject, but I just want to concentrate on the wife. So it's very important to have an understanding of what empowerment is. The reason we are seeing a lot of problems is that people are not understanding what empowerment means. And as we go on with the topic, I'm going to just give you a bit more information about what is happening out there and why I think it is being misconstrued. I strongly feel empowerment in marriage has not been explained properly. That is why we are having these problems. If only we had people that would explain empowerment to couples, it's going to work out better. Don't get me wrongly, I'm an independent woman, I am an empowered woman, and I am pro-wife or women empowerment. So when I come into contact with any woman, I want to encourage them to be empowered for a number of reasons. So like we have defined already, we said to empower somebody is to make them stronger and to make them confident, so that they are able to control their life or to claim rights. That is what the dictionary defines that to be. To the woman, since we are talking about wife empowerment, if you are able to respond in the comments, kindly share why you think there aren't a lot of women that are empowered. Right now, we are seeing a lot of organizations like, for instance, World Vision, talking about women empowerment a lot. We have seen this because some women are oppressed in their homes. Okay, so we have somebody who gets married. She's been to school, she's been educated, and just because she is married, the husband doesn't want her to work anymore. As a result, she stays at home and she has no control over anything. She just sits and takes care of the home. It's all right to take care of the home, but this empowerment matter needs to be spoken about, and we need to understand exactly what it is. You know, what are the benefits of being empowered as a woman, and why is it a disadvantage when you just sit back and you are not empowered? That is what I would like us to talk about. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. If you just joined us, we're talking about wife empowerment and how a husband can assist a wife to be empowered. And also, the question that has been asked several times is, are husbands insecure when it comes to wife empowerment? Okay, so if you have any comments, kindly write them in the write your text in the comments, and I'll be happy to look at that and read it afterwards. So you can be empowered as a woman in different ways. I'm going to give reasons why I feel every woman must be empowered. Okay, because it takes a lot. If you came into a marriage and you were not empowered, it can still be done. Okay, don't lose hope. I know there are a lot of women that are crying in their homes because they just feel there's a hindrance. The husband hinders them from progressing. And this is something that we need to speak about in every household. So I'll just talk about ways that you can empower yourself as a woman, as a wife, since I said I'm going to speak specifically to wives. Okay, so you don't wait to be empowered. I'm also aware, I know and I understand that there are some husbands that don't want their women to be empowered, so it might be a little bit difficult for you, but I will give you a bit of suggestions of how you can go about that. Okay, not that I want to teach you to go against your husband's will, but this is a subject that you can speak about. You know, it's worth discussing with your husband. So you can empower yourself in different ways. For a woman that got into marriage and doesn't have any skill or did not complete their schooling, I would encourage you to invest in yourself. So you can decide to go back to school. There's no problem with you sitting on a desk. You know, it's perfectly fine. Nowadays, we have adult education, which are a little bit easier for people that are much older than the schooling age. So invest in yourself by going back to school. Teach yourself some skills. You know, there are a lot of skills that one can do. Just see what you're passionate about. That might be a way of empowering yourself as opposed to just sitting and watching TV. I always attack women who just want to sit and watch TV because it's not progressive. It's not a progressive lifestyle. So let's teach each other, you know, to be empowered. So sometimes I find that women blame their husbands for not being empowered. Okay, as much as I understand that sometimes the men are not being supportive, some women just are not interested in doing anything. Okay, they don't want to do anything. They just want to sit there with beautiful hair because the house is being paid for. They want to sit there with nice nails and watch TV the whole day. It's really not healthy. It does not good for any woman. So even if everything is being provided for you, you just need to invest in yourself. Okay. So with that being said, let's not blame the men because we are not empowered. Sometimes it's really up to you. Some men that I've spoken to have actually said that, well, my wife has never told me anything. She doesn't speak about what she wants to do. She just wants to sit at home. So what can I do? So in that case, it's really up to you. I spoke about going back to school, you know, enroll yourself into a school. Says we come and grab a tip. Oh, okay. Please, 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 you're welcome. Tag somebody and let them listen to this. Everybody can benefit from this. So yes, I spoke about going back to school. If you did not complete your education, but still wish to go ahead, it is fine. I'll tell you my story. I went to school. I did everything that I needed to do. But at some point, I just felt it wasn't enough. My husband didn't tell me I needed to do anything. I just felt it within myself that I needed to improve myself. For some reason, there are certain things that I'm just never satisfied about. So if I don't feel satisfied about something, I need to do something about it. So it's up to you. If you are not happy about something and you're not satisfied about something, you need to step it up. You need to find ways of improving yourself. So another thing that you can do is to, I spoke about, going back to school. You can develop a skill. There are a lot of skills out there that one can invest in. But firstly, I would like you to first understand yourself and what perhaps you might want to do in life. So it's not really going back to school, okay? I love to read, I love to go back to school. I can go back to school at any time, but it's not for everyone. And if it's not for you, you can find something else that you can do. You can do some interior decoration, you can do baking. You know, I see a lot of people going into events, not because they didn't complete education, but they just have a passion for that. So there are certain skills that one can actually polish on that can help, you know. Instead of sitting at home and watching TV the whole day, you can get to do something that will help you in the future. We are going to talk about how these skills are going to come in handy in the future. Okay, so you can also do you can also start a small business. Okay, now I teach entrepreneurship. I'm an e-tutor, and I just love entrepreneurship. I've always loved entrepreneurship. I always think there's something there. The problem right now is that people don't want to be innovative, so they will see somebody doing hair or selling, let's talk about Brazilian hair because we are talking about women. They'll see somebody importing Brazilian hair. They'll also want to start that business. There's nothing really wrong, but you can be a little bit innovative, you know. Find something when you start a small business that is different, you know. There has to be a value proposition, something that is different from what your neighbor is doing. So if your neighbor is selling tomatoes, you can't also go and grab tomatoes. That's basically what I'm saying. If you need to Yes, yes, yes. Sungi, that's so true. I agree with you. There's so much that can be done. It is part of empowerment, and I strongly. So there's so much, but we have women that don't want to do anything, and the blame is on the man. That's not the case. There's so much that we can do as women. We can empower ourselves, join groups, find friends that are going to encourage you. I'll tell you something. I love to read, like I said, and I love to improve myself in different ways. So there was a time when I was doing website development. So I have done IT as well, besides everything else that I have done. I'm an IT specialist. So I was doing website development, and this lady came up to me and said, "But Francine, why do you go to school?" I used to go to class. I didn't see anything wrong with me. In the morning, I'll drop off my children at school and I'll go to school, okay, because I wanted to learn. And says, why do you want to go to school? You have everything. You have a car, you have a beautiful house, you have a helper. I mean, you have everything. So what's the point of you doing these things? But what this lady didn't understand is that I love to be empowered. Okay, so she was just happy with the status quo. She was just happy to be that wife, and a wife that had everything at home and didn't want to improve on anything. I mean, you can do nails. Don't be ashamed of what you can do. If that's the only thing that's available, it's even better, but just don't sit back. There's so much that we can do. Do nails, learn to do eyebrows, there's makeup, and it's quite easy. Sometimes you don't need to go to school if you can't afford, but there are a lot of tutorials on, I think, on YouTube. Yeah. So those are just some of ways that one can empower themselves. I like what Sungi says. Sungi says you can sell donuts. Yes, you can sell donuts. Don't be ashamed. Just empower yourself. It's for you. It's not for the person next to you. So when you begin to sell donuts, maybe you may sell 10, and it may look like you're not doing anything, you're not progressing. But in future, you'll be able to progress, and who knows, you might own a bakery. Okay, so you need to start small. Empowerment is very important. Let's not sit back. Okay, and there's something else that I would like us to talk about on this one. A lot of women feel a husband is a provider. Okay, I truly believe in that. Okay, I truly subscribe to that. Every husband is a provider. Okay, I'm only a helper. So you too are a helper. But there are times when things go wrong and the provider is not able to provide. So what happens? So that is my other point. That is the reason why I would like to encourage. Sungi again says, I'm a preschool teacher, and during off duty or free time, I babysit. Wow, this is so encouraging. I wish a lot of women could read this. There is so much that we can do. Thank you very much for that, Sungi. And Sungi, what I like about what you are saying here is we should never be ashamed of what is available to us. There you are, you babysit. And there I can see from your profile picture, you're such a beautiful woman. So there is just so much that we can do when it comes to these things. Okay, let's not sit and wait for things that we do not even qualify for. All right. So I was talking about a man being a provider. Yes, a man is a provider. But this empowerment is for you. A lot of things can go wrong in life. Okay, so don't sit pretty without being empowered. Don't sit pretty without having a skill. I always say, do something for yourself. It is not for your husband. It is not for anybody. It is for yourself. Okay, so when we begin to develop these skills, we improve on them and we become experts. That's what happens. So reasons why one should be empowered. For the women, I have seen it. I have seen a lot of people move from 100 to 0. It happens. Why? Because they were not empowered. Firstly, you have a husband who is a provider. That's very fine, and that is very perfect. He can provide, he can buy the car, he can do everything that you require in the home. But what happens when he loses that job? Okay, so when he loses that job, you lose everything else, because you as a helper, you have not developed any skill, and you have no plan. There's no way you're going to assist. That is why we are helpers as well. So when he can't work anymore, what will happen to you? That is a question that you must ask yourself. So if you're still sitting pretty and you don't want to improve on any skill, that is something that you must think about. Then there is illness. People fall sick, you get incapacitated. You know, you can reach a point where, or I have seen it, I can give a lot of examples, but let me stick to this. You can have everything else, but at some point, the provider falls sick and can't go to work anymore. The office can only keep him for a long time. If he has insurance, it's a different case. But how many people have this kind of insurance? So when there is no insurance, it means when he is down, the whole family is down. Okay, so that's another reason why you need to do that. And then there's also death. What happens if he dies today? Okay, so he may leave a bit of money for everybody to enjoy, but then that money is going to finish because it's not being replenished. So what will happen to you and the children? These are things to think about. This is real, it's reality, okay? We can't and feel everything is being done for me. It's nice to sit at home, but you need to get empowered. So when we talk about empowerment, yes, I understand that there are some people that don't have it easy. Their husbands are a big hindrance, which we're going to talk about. But then if there is room for you to improve yourself, do it. Try what you need to do. If you need assistance, I'm an entrepreneur. I teach entrepreneurship. Let me know if you need help. Inbox me and I'll be happy to give you ideas. I can help you. Okay. So that is one of the things. And then the bad scenario is when this man hasn't died. He's not dead. He's not sick, but he just abandons the family. Okay. So when these people abandon their families, what do? We have seen it. They don't pay attention to the children and they don't pay attention to anything at home. Some of them are so responsible, they will take off and everything else is, then you have nothing at home. Everything is gone. Okay, but if you're an empowered woman, you're going to be able to continue with life. Okay, there is continuity. You don't have to just sit there. So those are the reasons that I just gave. The reason I encourage women. So every time we have, for instance, marriage pillar, I ask the ladies, especially at the beginning of each year, I ask them, what would you like to do? What would you dream to do? You know, do you have an ambition? I believe that before you were a wife, you were just a young lady, a woman with dreams. So what happened to those dreams? Okay, I understand that we stand as helpers and we are in support of our husbands' dreams. But while they are busy with their dreams, we can occupy ourselves with certain things. It doesn't mean we can't improve on the skills, you know, that we already have. God has given to us skills, you know, and there's really need to work on them. Okay, where did I put my water? I really want to drink some water, but anyway. So that's what I wanted to talk about. If you've just joined us, we are talking about wife empowerment, and then we are going to talk now about how a husband can help his wife to be empowered. And lastly, we are going to look at husbands who feel insecure with empowerment. Okay, so just to make it easy for everyone to understand, what is empowerment? When we talk about it, what do we mean? So when I introduce empowerment in a relationship, or I speak to couples about empowerment, I am not saying this woman must be empowered so that she can go and overthrow or override or become disrespectful to the husband. That's not the empowerment I'm talking about. I'm talking about wives being empowered so that they will be able to, so that they will be confident and they will have control over their lives. When you get married, it doesn't mean you have lost your own life. That is something that we need to realize as wives, okay? So you can, I truly believe that you can be empowered and still be a good wife. I can give an example of myself. I'm empowered, I'm still a wife. I made a post the other day, I think it was yesterday, where I talked about what the world says, how the world sees marriage and my perception of marriage. So I say, when the world says I must override my head because I am capable, I say I am loyal. I would rather just sit back and be that helper. But how do I get to be a helper? You know, that is something that we must talk about. And when we talk about, I also mentioned in that post that when the world says I must fight for rights in my marriage, I say it's not necessary, because I know who I am. And that statement really comes with understanding yourself, and it comes with being independent, you know, to have an independent mind, but also it comes with being confident of who you are, you know, because if you are not confident, I don't think you're going to say that. You would want to, you know, you would want to fight at some point. If you have just joined us, welcome. Feel free to comment. We are talking about wife empowerment, how a husband can help his wife to be empowered, and we are going to talk about whether husbands are insecure when we look at empowerment in the home. Okay. So there's a misunderstanding. There's a misunderstanding out there. I think that is why men are resistant to having wives that are empowered. The misunderstanding, the misconception out there is that an empowered woman is disrespectful. I don't agree. Even though I have seen it to an extent, some women become disrespectful. So I don't know how they are being taught, or I don't know who's teaching this empowerment. Of course, when we talk about empowerment, where people are talking about fighting gender equality, for instance, you're going to hear a lot of equality in the home. You're going to hear of rights and this and that. So I am not for gender equality. I just know who I am. I just know that I have a head over me and I am in submission. Okay. So, but I am not a doormat. That is key. Okay. So it doesn't mean that when you get empowered, then you become disrespectful. I'm still speaking to the ladies, to the wives. It doesn't mean you become disrespectful. It doesn't mean that you are empowered. Now you've got your own income and you're going to do what you want. You're going to go out anytime. You're going to spend anyhow. It doesn't mean that. Okay, so you need to really grasp that. You need to understand that. So the second point that we are going to talk about here, kindly tag somebody in this chat or share this post so that we can have as many people understand what empowerment is and what it means for every wife and husband, okay? Because there is really a misunderstanding. People have misconstrued what empowerment in a relationship, in a marriage is. So we're now going to speak about how a husband can help his wife to be empowered, okay? So if you know of a husband who should listen to this, if your husband is not on the post, and I mean, if your husband doesn't know about this chat and you'd like him to listen, kindly tag him. If you've got friends, colleagues that you feel must listen to this post, kindly tag them. Okay. So the idea about empowering a wife really is to help her understand that she can be in control of her life and that she has potential. Okay. So as husbands, you need to understand that your wife also has potential. Sometimes the potential is hidden, but you can help your wife to realize that potential. There are a lot of women that are very intelligent, but they are not able to move forward because the husband has not realized that, or the husband is really not in agreement with what they want to do. So as a result, it becomes a problem for any woman. I would really love to encourage the men to come on board with this one, because it's not just for your wife, it's going to help you in future. Okay, so I'm going to give you just 3 points that can assist you, or at least somebody can look at. Firstly, listen to your wife. Okay, some husbands don't listen. They're just not so happy that a wife would like to be empowered. It's almost like, hey, you want to get empowered, and then what? Don't I buy you food in this house? Don't you have a car? Don't you have this and that? So why would you want to be empowered? That's not the case. Okay. So before she became your wife, she was an individual and she had dreams, and those dreams need to be realized. Otherwise, you have such an, if you have not really stood by her when she needs to do something, then you actually have a wife who is sad. She may not tell you, she may not talk about it, but she must be very sad. Okay, there are so many things that some people just don't want to discuss because they know that their spouse is not in agreement. So my first point to you, the husband, is listen to your wife. Listen to her. Ask her questions of what she would like to do. You know, what would you like to do, honey? where would you like to see yourself in the next 2 years or 3 years? And husbands never ask those questions, I presume. But if your husband has been asking, kudos to him, and I would really want to shake his hand or at least give him a present someday, because right now what we have are husbands who are feeling intimidated when they have empowered women around. Okay. So to husbands that are not intimidated, kudos to you. I have a husband who is not intimidated at all. He actually has helped me to really realize who I am. Okay. He has helped me right now. He has told me, if you want to do your PhD, go ahead. He is not intimidated by anything. He is actually happy to have an empowered wife. There are so many benefits for him. There are so many benefits for me as a wife. But so my first point to the husband is listen to your wife, ask her what she would like to do, and ask her she ask her how you can support, her dream. Okay, that is one point. And then the next point is take an interest in what she tells you. Okay, it means that if it means you're going to read anything about what she's told you about, do it so that you can have a discussion, a conversation around what she's interested in doing. Don't pour cold water on your spouse. When they tell you what they want to do, okay, for instance, you have a wife who sits at home. She's been sitting at home and you are thinking she's not intelligent because she's been taking care of you and taking care of the children. So she sits, but maybe she's been reading and she's interested, for instance, in medicine. All of a sudden she says she would like to be a medical doctor. There is nothing impossible. All things are possible. So if she comes through and says, I've thought about what I want to do. I think I want to be a medical doctor. Don't say, hey, where did this come from? You, a doctor. By doing that, you're going to just pour cold water on her and she's going to retreat. So the best you can do is, yeah, it's interesting. Okay, get more information about it and see how best you can encourage her. Take an interest in what she is doing. That is how you're going to help her to get empowered, because she knows that you're going to be in support of whatever she's going to do in her journey for empowerment. Okay, and my last point I would like to encourage you husbands is that yes, we appreciate that you are providers, you provide, okay, but allow your wife to explore, allow your wife to discover herself and see what she can do for herself. She has potential, okay? So just give her the space, just give her, don't limit her to what she can do. So just afford her that opportunity, to just explore and see what she can do. Okay, even if you can provide, it's okay. Go and do everything else that you need to do for the home. She will stay at home. She will take care of the home. She will do what she's been doing, but just give her the chance, give her the opportunity. She will definitely do something that you'll be proud of as a husband. Okay, so if you have just joined us, we are talking about wife empowerment. We are talking about how a husband can assist his wife to be empowered. And the last one is, are husbands insecure when it comes to empowerment? That's what we are talking about. If you just joined us, tag somebody. Okay, let them know this topic is going on. If you have a husband who should listen to this post, tag him or tag a colleague, share the post, and let's learn, let's discuss empowerment. And then for the women that are already on the platform, throw out some ideas for other women to come and read. Sungi has already given her input there. Just comment, say something in there so that somebody else can learn from you as well. Okay, so our last point is, are husbands insecure with empowerment? Sadly, yes. Some husbands are very insecure, and it's so sad. Okay, it's so sad. They don't want their wife to be empowered for reasons themselves, but some of the reasons are very well known. It's simply because they're feeling they're losing control. Okay, so that is why some husbands want to have an empowered woman. They feel they will lose control. We want to assure you that you are not going to lose control. I addressed the women when I started talking. I was talking about wife empowerment, and I was saying that being empowered shouldn't make you disrespectful to your husband. Okay, remember, I'm teaching and I subscribe to godly principles. So respect remains. Okay, so being empowered should not make you disrespectful. You get empowered, you get independent, you earn an income, but you should not disrespect your spouse. Okay, so most of the time we are seeing men not wanting to assist where empowerment is concerned because they're afraid of losing control. You know, the person that has the money calls the shots, right? So he knows everything around. He's got the salary, he's got the pay, and you've got nothing, especially for couples, you know, especially for couples that don't discuss finances together. Those kind of couples are the ones that are really in trouble. So this man is really feeling he's the boss of the house. Okay, so I earn this money, I bought you this car, I'm taking care of you, and who do you think you are? So that kind of attitude, you know, and he's feeling, okay, so if my wife gets empowered and she gets a good job, okay, and she gets to earn even more than myself, then hell is going to break loose. So some of them are afraid, okay? They're not sure how they are going to be treated when their wife is empowered, but feel comfortable, okay? At least you can take me as an example. If you want, you can call my husband and ask him. I have been empowered. I have empowered myself. My husband has assisted me to be empowered, and the respect is still there. Actually, I respect him even more. Okay, I respect him even more for that. So don't be afraid. Okay, just go ahead and assist your wife to get empowered. So that means if she wants to go back to school, how can you help her? Okay, if she wants to start a business, how can you support her? I mentioned somebody who might want to even be a medical doctor at 40. How can she be assisted? So those are some of the things. It's going to be exciting for you as a husband. When she's done, you sit back and you say, look, we have done it, not I have done it. We end up saying, we have done it. You know, I actually felt when I completed my master's, I wanted to give my gown to my husband. He's got his own, but I wanted him to wear, what do you call that? I think it's a hoodie. Somebody write it down for me. I got my second one, and I wanted my husband to have it simply because he had been there for me when I needed to get empowered. Okay, so I felt excited, I felt grateful, and I have more respect. You know, I have a lot of respect for him, and so if you are that kind of a wife and your husband has helped you to be where you are and he is not intimidated by you, love him more. That's what I can say. Okay, so to the husband, I'm still talking to you. Okay, don't feel insecure. So I would like you to understand that a woman needs to be empowered for a number of reasons. I was speaking to the woman earlier, and I was saying there are a lot of reasons why you should be empowered as a woman, because some things may go wrong. I mean, we don't hold life in our hands. Anything can happen today. And what happens to your wife? Okay, so I'll talk to you as well. Okay, so what happens if you don't have a job anymore? We have seen people lose their jobs. A contract comes to an end, it can't be renewed, or maybe your company just goes bankrupt and there's nothing to fall back on. So what happens? If you've been buying those cars on credit, they'll come and repossess them, your house gets repossessed, you won't even have food, then you have to go back maybe to your parents' house or squat somewhere. But at least if you've empowered your wife, she can assist you. Okay, that's one point for you. And then also, what happens to you? Sorry, what happens to the children as well? They need to go to school. You don't have a job, you've lost your job. At least if we have empowered your wife and you have supported her, she can assist you. That's why she's a helper, right? Okay, so I'll give an example. If my husband doesn't have a job for one reason or another, God forbid, because he has stood by me, okay, I'm empowered, and he has assisted me to get to the level at which I'm at, there's no way I'm going to neglect him. I will stand by as his helper, and I will make sure that he is comfortable just the way he has been comfortable. So these things are balanced, okay? We can't run away from them. Be there for your spouse. She would definitely be there for you. Unless in other cases where we've heard that there's some women who have been out of their minds. As soon as they're empowered, they take off. As soon as they're empowered, they disrespect the head. They become the head. Oh, who do you think you are? You know, I can do it myself. I don't need your money. You can keep your money. You know, that kind of attitude. It's not right. So that's it. But there are very few women, especially women, God-fearing women. If you are a God-fearing woman, why would you want to do that? I don't think you would do that. You would want to return, you know, the goodness, the kindness that has been done to you. So husband, I'm still talking to you. One day, you might go before your spouse. So I have seen a lot of families, I have seen a lot of wives totally collapsing because the husband has died. They don't know where to start from. The wife is not empowered. Yes, you have everything else. Maybe there's a will, sometimes there's no will, then there's property grabbing, or you might have left the money quite right, okay? But then if the money is not being replenished, it means that at some point there'll be nothing left because the school fees, you have to pay rent if you didn't buy the house, or you know, the bills, and so this wife is not empowered, so she can't continue, you know. So I would say to the husband, don't be selfish, okay? The only reason a husband won't want to have an empowered wife is out of selfishness, okay? Now, you don't have to be selfish because you are going to bring a lot of trouble for your own family, you know, at some point. Yeah, so don't make it impossible for your wife to move forward. Don't make it impossible. Don't come up with all sorts of reasons why she can't do this. No, but the children, no, but who's going to be at home? Lock the house, you know. If the children are small, I understand that there are some parents that will say, okay, don't do anything until the children are old enough. That's perfect because, you know, we hear a lot of things in creches and at school and, you know, okay, there's just a lot of things. And maybe if I had an opportunity like that, no. This thing wants to cancel off. I don't want to cancel this chat. Okay. So, yes, if I had an opportunity, maybe I could have done the same, stayed at home, take care of the children. But I did test that. Okay. There was a time where we moved to one country and my husband was working and I wasn't allowed to work because of his conditions, work permit conditions. And so I stayed home. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed taking care of the children and I enjoyed to be in control. But at some point I got bored, hey? I got bored. I don't know how some women do it, to just sit at home and not do anything. So my point here is that you as a husband can help your wife. You can help your wife. You can support her so she can get empowered. There are a lot of benefits to this. If you just joined us, welcome. We're talking about wife empowerment. I mentioned earlier that I'll narrow it down to wives only. Okay, so I know there is women empowerment and I know there's the girl empowerment, but I just want to talk to the wives. I just want to keep it narrow and I just want us to talk about how a wife can empower herself and how a husband can assist her. And also I was talking about husbands that are feeling insecure, just an encouragement there for them so that they shouldn't feel insecure, okay? It's necessary for every wife to be empowered today, okay? I know, I always say, yes, times have changed and sometimes it's beyond our control. There are certain things that remain the same, but there are certain things that need to be improved on. And one of them is what we're talking about now. A lot of parents, I grew up with just my mother. So my mother worked and she was very busy. Hey? She was very busy. She worked in some government organization and she traveled the world. So there were times when you would wake up and she's gone and she would be gone for another 10 days and she would return. She just had a busy lifestyle. So she had no choice. She had to empower herself. Okay. But then there are some people that have grown up with both parents. And for you who grew up with both parents, perhaps your mother didn't work. She stayed at home. and your father went to work and it was okay. Life was easy then. I don't know how your parents managed with that. I don't know whether there was enough food, whether there was enough money to go around. I don't know. But I may not also know how your mother felt about staying at home. Okay. So your father went to work and you watched that. So perhaps today you have a wife and you're feeling just because your mother stayed at home, she must also stay at home. It's not the case today. Okay. But if you can afford, it's fine. She can stay at home and take care of the children, but she just needs to work on her skills. We can't sit at home and not do anything because anything can happen, like I mentioned. Okay, so the way our parents lived then, and it was a nice way because there was order, there was a balance there. One goes, just brings the income, and then the one at home manages the income. It was the perfect arrangement, and I would love that. I would love to just sit at home, but somehow I would want to confess that I can't sit still. I can't sit still. I may not go to work, to the office or anywhere, but I will still be busy in the house. And just to talk about the Proverbs 31 woman, I always give an example. There's always something to learn about her. So this Proverbs 31 woman, she was married, she had children, and yes, she had a lot that women will have helpers. Yes, she had helpers, and she had business, and so she had an income at the end of the day. So we can learn from her. We can be busy. We can be taking care of the home, but we can also be busy with our own hands. You know, God has given us an intellect. God has given us wisdom. So he has given us talents that we can work with. I'll refer to a post here. Somebody mentioned you can do baking, you can plait hair, you can do makeup. There are all those skills that can be done. Okay, so instead of just sitting back at home and relaxing, it's really up to you in most cases. Like I said earlier, there are some husbands who feel their wives are not interested in anything, so they let them sit. They give them all the money and they let them sit. So if that's the case, if you are feeling like that, there's really nothing that we can do. We can just encourage you, but it's up to you to implement. Okay. So if you've just joined us, we have been talking about wife empowerment. How important is it? Okay. So we spoke about the reasons why you should get empowered, and then also the disadvantages of not being empowered. We also spoke about how a husband can assist his wife to be empowered. Okay, so husband, listen to your wife, support her, okay, and just give her a chance, an opportunity to explore what she can do. And yeah, so that's what we had for today. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I just want to look at the comments in case somebody wrote something there. Okay, so Sungi, yeah. Okay. Etrad says some men are just selfish. Yes, and that is what I mentioned. They don't want to assist in empowering their wives, as some said. They won't benefit from their wives. To tell you the truth, I don't think I would recognize such a husband. Once things go well for me. Okay, I understand your sentiments, Etrad. And I know that that is how women are feeling right now. That is why I was talking to the men. Be kind to your wife. Okay, do unto others as you would love them to do unto you. That one looks very easy. Okay, we always say do unto others, but you don't want to do it. So this is exactly what Etrad is saying. She is simply saying if she had a husband like that, then it's just going to work out that she won't want to help you at the end of the day. It's not rocket science, you know. So, but as a child of God, I would also want to speak to you in terms of being a child of God. If you are in that situation and you are feeling your husband doesn't deserve your help, please inbox me. Let's talk about it, okay? Because when you're a child of God, there is need for forgiveness, okay? I always talk about forgiveness. There's need for forgiveness. It will go a long way. So don't hold grudges. I know that a lot of men have messed up. It's not a secret. A lot of men have done a lot of unthinkable things in their homes. But when they run broke, they go back home and they expect their wife to take care of them. It is unacceptable, men. You can't continue doing this. So let me just see what somebody else has said here. Okay. So yeah, so those were the comments. I've already read the comments from Sungi, yeah. So I would like to thank every one of you for joining me. It's been wonderful speaking to you. It's been wonderful reading your comments. I hope that you will join me next week on Wednesday, same time at 3 p.m., 15 hours Central African time. So I'll be here with another topic, but if you have something that you would like me to discuss, let me know. I'll be happy to talk about that. I hope I have helped somebody. I hope that I have directed somebody in one way or the other. So if you are the wife that has been sitting and needs to empower yourself, do that. Start selling something, start a small business. Just get to do something. You know, you always have to start small. Okay. So I was talking about entrepreneurship. If you would like, you're not sure what to do, I'm an entrepreneur. I teach entrepreneurship skills. I'll be happy to help you. Okay. If you are in Gauteng and you are a youth, and you would like some consultancy, you know, in entrepreneurship, please get in touch with me, because I have partnered with one organization and they will pay your bills. I will be able to help you in that regard. So please contact me. You get my number from my, I think I've posted something on my page today, but my is 081 425 7474. If you're in Gauteng and you are a youth entrepreneur, please let me know. I would like to let you know about some services that you can get for free from my company, which is called DNG Consulting. Okay, so if you, for those that don't know, I'm a relationship coach, but I'm a managing director of my company, DNG. It's a company that deals with SMMEs. Okay, so I help to develop companies and also to create them, to create companies and also to nurture them. Okay, so that's what I do. So my website is www.consultdng.com. So if you can get to my page, Francine Chirambo, I posted something today, Francine Chirambo, that's just my personal page. I posted something and I have services for you. So Sungi, I'm not sure where you are, and if there's anybody else who is based in Gauteng, please get in touch with me. Okay, so I would like to tell you about our marriage pillar sessions that happen once a month. Okay. On the 13th of July, we have our meeting, and it starts at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Innovation Hub in Pretoria, that's in Linwood. If you'd like to be part of this session, it's Titus 2 Vision. Titus 2 speaks about training men and training women in the way they should go. Okay, looking after their families and taking care of children. For the women, how to love their husbands. Okay, so marriage is not just, you know, learning the skill of marriage is not just for women, but it is also for the men. So please, RSVP, would love to see you, love to have you at this event. It is free. Okay, so bring somebody along or invite somebody along to this event. That's in Pretoria, 13th of July. Then in Lusaka, if you are in Lusaka, 9th of August, please join me. You are not going to regret it. We are going to have a couples dinner and workshop at Crystal View Hotel from 6 p.m. to about 9:30 p.m. Okay, and the theme is breaking patterns. We all have patterns that need to be broken, but how can this be done? So you are invited. The tickets, the dinner is 550 kwacha per couple. We have payment terms. You can pay in June and complete the payment at the end of July. So if you are in Lusaka, if you can make it, we would love to see you. Otherwise, invite a friend or buy space, a seat for a couple. Okay, let's help to save marriages. There's something, there's a post that I've been writing on my page. Recommend a couple that you feel needs help, and I'm happy to help them for free. Okay, I'll take the sessions for free because I would really love to see marriages work. So the only requirements there are that the husband and wife must be willing to attend the sessions, or at least be there when I do the video call. I don't want to talk to one party. I want to speak to both of you as a couple. So please do recommend a couple that needs help. So marriage needs to be worked on. And then when things go wrong, it is not one person who is wrong. We need to clear both parties. So that is why I say both husband and wife need to be available for that. So that is the free session that I'm running. I am giving an opportunity to one couple every month. Okay. And then, yes, we have our couples retreat happening in Johannesburg at Glen Burn Spa. That's in Johannesburg. This is from the 27th of September to the 29th of September. And our theme this time is communication. Communication is the center of everything in a marriage. So if you are, it doesn't matter where you are. For inquiries, just get in touch with me. I'll be happy. I'll be able to tell you the payment terms and how you can get to register for this event. So from me, thank you very much for joining me. And let's talk some loving. See you next time.